Listen, I'm a gratefully recovering compulsive overeater. I weigh and measure 3 meals a day. I call it into my sponsor. I don't eat in between meals no matter what. And abstinence is the most important thing in my life, no matter what, no matter who, no matter when, where, why, or how. I guard my abstinence at all costs because it's important. It's actually the most important thing that I can do in a day, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself that I've actually done. Like, I can't stop myself from breathing. So I don't control that, but I control this. I have like some assistance. So this is the most important thing. And I've been here, I did the math quickly, 2003. 2003 would be 19 years today. And it is incredible that something had to be removed for me to come into the space. Because I was done. I was resigned. My highest weight was 404 pounds. I lived at home with my mother. And nothing's wrong with living at home with your mom if that's the goal. If that's the goal. I mean, I see it now. I see people nowadays who function and they live with their parents, but that's part of a bigger picture. Maybe it's for taking care of the parents, or maybe it's to save up for a house. I was at my mother's house because she was my roommate, because I had never done anything in life to function that would allow me to move out and be an adult. So that weight, the disease of addiction to other substances, but I'll keep it on this because this is the food program, first off. That's why I'll keep it on that. And this was, they call certain drugs the gateway drug. This is, for me, the gateway, because this was so connected to so many other things that I could never figure out how to function. And all of this, I'm going on a diet on Monday. I'm going to do this on Monday. Now look at the calendar. Okay, Monday is on the first of the year. Even though it's September, I'll start that Monday, because that'll be the Monday that God will, do it for me. If there is a God and God loves me, and if you love me, God, you'll have me get it. So I won't have to endure. There's an enduring of being in an addiction, that type of weight, the weight on my body. Like, I'm 167 pounds now. I mean, my wrists, I was 400 pounds and you could do this to my wrists. I had the little thin wrist. And, but I had all that weight on me and I was just dragging it on me. I mean, that's 200 plus pounds, 220 something pounds. That's a heavy size of a person. That's me putting that on my back and dragging it to school and dragging it on the train and dragging it up the train and down into the grocery store and on a date when a date happened. But and there was no point that I didn't acknowledge that was happening. My weight was so like if I sometimes I'll get something from eating something that'll scratch the top of my mouth, and it would heal if I could just stop tonguing it. But I can't. I just constantly tongue it, and that's how weight was for me. It was like a constant. One day, what is the diet? What can I do? Look at my shirt. It's not fitting. It's too tight. These pants are tight. This is no. I'm fat. No, they looking at me. They're laughing. Those people over there are laughing. Oh, they're laughing at me. They have to be laughing at me. Oh, I'm going on a train. Too many kids in the train. I'm going to let that train go by because I don't want to get on that train. I don't want the ridicule. I'm not going to sit down here. And the idea of being 400 pounds and really believing that I could be invisible. Like, I'm invisible. I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to disturb anybody. I'm not going to cause any ripples. I'm not even going to go to the bathroom when I need to. I'm just going to sit here and I'll hold it. And that's a true story. I still have some wreckage from like behaviors of not going to the bathroom when I feel the bathroom. Like, oh, well, I'm not going to go. And it's like, where did you get that from? My girlfriend says, where did you get that from? Why don't you go to the bathroom? I'm like, I can hold it. Why? You're at home. Why are you holding it? And it took me years to get that was a condition of just not wanting, not just wanting to be, but not just wanting to exist. And I didn't know that. I wish I would have known that. Then I possibly could have gotten some help. But I didn't know that. It was my thing alone, and I'm going to handle this. And I had a life today that I can look back on and I can feel sympathy and I can have compassion for the person who walked into a room in a church on 86th Street in Manhattan 19 years ago, not knowing, not wanting, not believing that there was anything that could be done. And for whatever reason, some people have said, you've been struck abstinent. And I said, that sounds, I mean, maybe I was struck abstinent. But the way I look at it is, I was getting my ass whipped up and down life with this weight. Knees still, I had knee surgery, still hobble, still have ankle issues, still have hip issues, still feel pain. My pain level, I'll tell my daughter, she's like, what's your pain level today? I'm like, it's 7. And I don't complain about it because it's just a 7. You know, so for the damage that I've done, when I walked into the room and somebody said, this is what you do, for whatever reason, I do not understand it, why I listened to some strange person that I've never met before and listened to it. He said, this is your food. This is what you're going to eat. Let's look at this gray sheet. What is this gray sheet? I've been hearing about this gray sheet. And I'm looking and he's crossing things out. And this is 4, this is not 2, and this is not that, and this. And he sat with me for a half an hour and he says, you got to go get a scale. Now, I didn't have money for a scale, but of course I have money for a scale. I didn't want to buy a scale. I didn't want to yet again attempt something that I was going to fail at. Because I'd done the Weight Watch.
Excuse me, you've got 8.5 minutes left. You didn't hear me? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I had done the Weight Watchers. I had done the Jenny Craig. I had done the local New York things, right? And as much as I was comfortable doing those things, because I'm a guy. I'm like, oh, I just got to work out. You know, I just got to work out. I'm not doing that. I can eat what I want. I'm going to work out. And everybody has an idea of what you need to do. And it's painful to be stuck in that position where if I'm walking through the streets and I'm eating something we don't eat, then it's the looks of, yeah, well, that's why you're so fat. And if I'm eating something healthy, to get the look from the same person of saying, it's too late for that. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, can I win? And the answer is yes. I started to win and I started to work this program and do what I was told to do. And the weight shed off very quickly and left me in a strange space because all this weight was gone, but I had a persona built up around this weight. I had to start making the weight work for me. You know, I was in school. If you want to mess with somebody, it shouldn't be him because he's tough. And I am not tough. I can't fight. You know, I mean, it's so much gun smoke and blaze and the shock and awe. And at the end of it, it's like the wizard. And you go behind the door and it's just this little guy behind it. And that's me. And I'm so okay with being that person. Like, no. But I was, gosh, flames. And I was tough and I was from the hood. I'm from Harlem. And it was the hat top down and the energy was, I wish you would come over here. I wish you would bother me. Reality was, please don't. Please, I sure hope you don't look at me. I sure hope you don't come over here. Sure hope you don't want this hat because I would have to give it to you because I have nothing on this end. And but those years of like that pretending and it became who I thought I was. And I didn't have to be that because it shed, but I was left like, oh, wait, who am I? Then I had to go out and figure out what the hell about my sponsor. Like, you might need some outside things that are not just in these rooms. Okay, you might need to, so let's work the steps. So we started working the steps. And I started, cleaning up the wreckage of the past. And it was a lot of damage. It was a lot of damage physically, mentally, spiritually. And then I had to go get outside. I had to go sit on the couch and talk to people. And I know we don't advocate certain things, but I had to really get in touch with life in a way because my life, it was upside down, right? So the sky was green, the grass was blue. And if you didn't see it that way, you were wrong. And I could prove to you that the sky was green. And all the trauma and just the craziness. And I keep agreeing to allow my mother to be dead. Like, she's been dead for 10 years. And it's like, I know somewhere she's like, dude, if you tell another story about me, I'm going to haunt you, but there were some things that were strange in that upbringing and what I'll leave that there, that I don't do with my daughter. My daughter has a different space, and I think I'm a really good parent. And I'm a really good parent. And why I say that is because the house is quiet. The house is safe. The house is not a party house. There's food, there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's enough, there's light. You hit light switches, lights come on. You run water, water comes on. You open the fridge, there's food, or if there's not, there's money to go buy food right now. You know what I mean? Like that, those are the things that I didn't grow up with. So it was the scarcity life. And I give my daughter something, that's her room is that way. That's why I'm looking that way. Her room is that way. But I give her that. And what I give her and give myself is, she's 12. She doesn't look for things. So she'll say, Dad, did you see my such and such? It's a snack for her that we don't eat at all. And she'll say, did you see my such and such? I'm like, nope. And in my gut, I'm nervous. I feel anxiety. She's like, you sure? You haven't seen it? I know I haven't seen it. I didn't try. And what it is years before that, right? Years before I was in this room, my nieces and nephews would do the same thing. And they would say, did you see my? And I'd lie and say, no, but I ate it. But I ate it. And I wasn't going to tell them I ate it. 4 minutes.
Samein.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that's a gift. She doesn't know that's a gift. I do. I know, and I shop and I cook and I do all the things. Like she's not on GreySheet. She eats more vegetables than most people, but she's not on GreySheet. So I deal with hands-on. I have all kinds of strategies on cooking her foods and things, and she can cook way more than I could cook at 12. She can bake and she does all the things. But I still take care of her. I have to do these things. And so I have to daily touch on stuff that's not ours. And maybe not daily, but more often than I would have if I was, alone. But I get to give her the gift of an abstinent parent, and not just the food, but just the thinking. I could show up somewhere and be present with a person, because before, when I was into the food, it would be, oh, wow, that happened. Oh, she died. Oh, I would give you all the things, all the, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. And not really be present, and really, not to say I didn't care, but I didn't care, because I was thinking about, I have my food and how am I going to eat this? Oh, okay, so I'm going to take this to go. 400 pounds. Trust and believe, there's no need for me to ever take a doggy back home. I don't have a dog, and I can consume everything on every table, everywhere. But not with me. I had to eat half of it, and I'm so full. And that pretending and that behavior, I was freed from that. And only to eat it on a train, I don't know who eats on a train in New York, it's not great, but I would. And then come out and then eat another meal and go home and eat again. It was like this eating machine. And eating. And to be freed from that, to be freed from having an unhealthy relationship with food. If I loved my partner as much as I loved my food at that time, I'd be, somewhere fancy and in love. Because I had these rituals with food. I would have it on Sunday night, watch the football game, do the laundry, and I need to have you to myself, and you're just mine, and you're my only one that understands me. Now, was I thinking that? No, but that was the behavior. I can clearly see every Sunday night I bought some things, a pint of this and this and that, and I put my laundry in, and I sat there and I watched football and football highlights. And that was the extent of my life at that time. I have a life today. I've been married. Some of you know my wife was here. She's passed away. Met her in the rooms. We have a 12-year-old. I have a 12-year-old daughter. That was thanks to GreySheet. I met her in these rooms. I've traveled. I didn't have a passport when I first came in here. Now I'm on my second passport. I've traveled throughout the Mediterranean. I go on trips to GreySheet travels. I've had leg surgery, been in the hospital for 30 days. I had a maxillofacial. I had an underbite like Michelle Obama, and I had that corrected. And now I have a smile like I have right now. This cost $37,000. It was $17,000 for the surgery and whatever for the hospital stay. And I had to be wired for 5 weeks. And I stayed abstinent for 5 weeks, drinking and drinking things. And my sponsor said, you're going to end up putting this protein inside that smoothie. And I was like, I guarantee you, I will never eat that protein that swims in a blender and eat it. He said, I guarantee you. And I never did. It was all the basics. It was protein that we drink and fruits and vegetables in a high-powered blender that I still have today. Didn't lose a pound. You would think I would have lost some weight, which is the first question. Didn't lose a pound. Didn't I lose a pound? And, I went through that. And, I went through losing my mother. I went through losing my wife. And I remember, and I know my time is probably coming up. We're in time now. When my wife passed away, the first thing that I did was I called my sponsor, because that's the only thing I know to do. And that's how I live my life. I call and check with my sponsor. And then I live life. Thank you very much. That's my time. Hope I said something to keep you abstinent. Another meal.